want to introduce our speaker at this point. We're very excited to have Savtira in the district, and I'm very pleased to introduce Tim Roberts, the Chief Executive Officer, Chairman of the Board, Founder, and a few other things. And I'm going to abbreviate Tim's introduction here because I'm not smart enough to read it as it is. Bottom line is, he's done a lot of cool stuff like this before for 6 different companies. So he's been a CEO, a Chief Technology Officer, a Managing Director, a Board Member, and he knows what he's doing. He developed a company, and you'll figure out how Savtira got his name. He developed a company, Savvas Communications, which was later sold for $3.6 billion. That was in 2011. And let's see, we also have the Intera Corporation, which raised more than $250 million equity capital and was later sold through acquisitions to Terramark, and later on was sold to Verizon for $2.6 billion. So I'd say that he's got some pretty decent experience, and we're glad to have him in Tampa and in Ybor City. And we just realized today that we met in Tallahassee back probably 10 years ago when I was putting together Enterprise Florida, and he was invited up by the governor at that time, which was Jeb Bush, to work on our technology section. So it's nice to have you here and that we're still doing the doing. So anyway, Savtira is a startup. Savtira is moving into an area called cloud computing, and I am not qualified to explain what that is. I have articulated that as something like an electronic warehouse in the sky, and at that point, I will have Tim talk to you about it.
I'm just going to do a brief presentation, but first of all, my name is Tim Roberts, and not originally from Florida. I moved to Longboat Key about 13 years ago, and ended up trying to start some business down there and realized that there's nobody to work for you in the city. It's a lot of money. But I had a lot of good memories from Tampa. My father was an executive at Anheuser-Busch, and I think Ybor was his largest selling area. But the area, we love it. It's really eclectic and creative, and it's a great environment for our company, and that's why we chose it. And we love Tampa and all the support we've received. And so anyway, I'll go into a brief introduction about Savtira. So Savtira is a cloud commerce provider, and what's happening right now is, you used to buy software and install it on a computer and run it locally in your office. And what the cloud means is that you no longer need to buy software. You just access it through the internet, and you can get to any application. So it's like a on-demand library of every media application and data file that you can ever dream of. And so we have built a platform, a catalog, and an entertainment distribution network. And in a nutshell, speaking from a consumer perspective, what that means is you no longer need to buy physical media for music, for movies. It's all gone. Physical media is done. And so Ford 2 weeks ago announced that there's no more CD players in their cars. So the way you're going to access your music is you're going to log in through your car stereo system into the cloud, and whatever music you own in the cloud, you have access to it. So McDonald's is retrofitting 28,000 restaurants right now with computer media tables. So when you go into McDonald's, you can go and you can log into the cloud, you can access a business application that you left paused at your office. You can continue where you left off on a working document. You can access your music, you can access your DVR, watch your TV shows that you like. You can access satellite radio and anything else you want, all through the cloud. And so I realized about 8 years ago that there was a need to pioneer the new cloud commerce platform, and it was aggravating because we were too early to market. Spent about $110 million in 8 years of pulling my hair out to get to the point we are now. So we've perfected the blueprints. In fact, not only have we perfected the blueprints, but we've actually built the system. It's up and running, and you can use it today. So what we do as a company is we have a horizontal approach to the market. So we found by traveling around the world, meeting with all the executive teams of all the broadcast syndicates, publishers, retailers, e-tailers, cable operators. There was a common problem, and the common problem was A, they wanted to outsource, and B, they wanted a next generation e-commerce platform, and they wanted it to have all the bells and whistles, and they didn't want to do anything except for bring the eyeballs and traffic and brand it and market it. And so what we do is we provide all of the tools necessary for companies like Target or Comcast or Verizon or Tesco or the BBC or whoever it may be to outsource their complete platform and to get a catalog of digital and physical goods that they can market to their particular audiences. So we provide a catalog of physical and digital goods that today is larger than Amazon and Walmart and larger than iTunes and broader. So we cover on-demand TV, internet TV, over-the-top broadcasting, radio, all kinds of good stuff, and we cover, from end to end on the digital market and physical market, every vertical. So whether it's action sports or household wares. And then we have a platform, and the platform is really what differentiates us. And our platform solves the main problem the industry has today, and that is that you can buy physical and digital goods in one shopping cart transaction. Which it sounds easy, but it's not. It's like if you compare it to real estate, you have to go tear down your building and completely rebuild it. And so then the platform also is Web 3.0. So it takes social networking to the next level, in that now you can see what your friends, what color sneakers they're buying, and what they're listening to, and what they're reading, and what they're watching, and what video games they're playing. And so it really brings you, a lot closer to your friends, and also allows your kids to, share their wish lists. So now you don't have to buy them other gifts, your family and friends can. And then it's cloud-based, so it's got a digital locker in the cloud, as Tom mentioned, and basically what that means is that any data, media, or applications, which applications is the key one because you weren't able to do this before. And what that means is that applications we can now host from the cloud, and so companies no longer need to go out and buy physical disks for Microsoft Office or AutoCAD or universities that have a tremendous amount of different software needs. Now you can just go log into our system through one of our distribution partners and access an enormous library of business tools, video games, whatever you want, and you can start them from the cloud. And the biggest advantage to that is that all the processing is being done in the data center. And so now universities don't need to go, or businesses don't need to go and upgrade their PCs anymore, because the PCs you have today will do anything you need to in the future because the processing is being done in the data center. And so we stream the video down, and so a device that used to take a $8,000 PC to run a high-end graphics program, now you can do on a $50 smartphone because it's just video streaming. So it's really disruptive. The technology wasn't available before 12 months ago to do this, and we're the first ones to deploy it nationwide. And because we had an early market move, we were able to patent a lot of the items to monopolize our position in the industry. So the market is huge. It's a $680 billion market today. That market is re-platforming, so about 80% of the companies today are in a mad panic to re-platform because they're scared to death if they don't, they're going to be out of business. And then on top of it, it's doubling in size in the next few years, so it's growing to a $1.5 trillion market. My past companies have been able to acquire about 30% market share, which is our goal here. So you can do the math and figure out we should be the largest employer in Florida if that happens, so hopefully we hit our targets. And so we're enterprise class. One thing that's really differentiated my past companies is that I overbuild and build it for Fortune 500 clients. And so I was the first one in the internet world to do service level agreements and really move to a high quality of service. And that's what we're doing in the e-commerce space as well. So it's PCI compliant and has all the items that you need as an enterprise customer. And so we also provide aggregation of payment gateways. So we're a global payment aggregator, so we can do global payments worldwide in any different merchant bank. So our catalog today, as I mentioned, we have 12 million songs, 200,000 ebooks, 70,000 audiobooks, 50,000 studios, 7,000 radio stations, and more. And that's just on the digital side. We also have 100 TV stations, and we have about, I think, I'm not sure on the physical goods side, but it's pretty enormous. The really cool thing about to a consumer about what this technology allows you to do differently is that a good analogy is if you're driving in your car and your kid's in the back seat and they're on their tablet, they can buy a video game from the Toyota store or whoever it is that we're powering. And basically they can start that video game with no download, no install, just starts instantaneously. Compared to before, they would have to download it. It would take an hour to download. It might be a corrupt install. And so the software companies don't like that piece because unlike music and movies that you can start, you can preview and see if you like it and then buy it, you got to go through a lot of pain to do that with software and video games. So because we stream it from the cloud, you can now preview video games and business software very quickly. And so some of the advanced features that you can do now is you can pause and resume. So if your kid's in the backseat of the car, he buys a video game, and you pull in the garage, he can pause it and he can continue it on his computer TV or on his smartphone or any other connected device. So the thing that's really disruptive about this is if you think about the cable industry, anybody that had a terrestrial landline-based network, now, as Nicholas Negroponte said, who was kind of the prophet of internet technologies 20 years ago, he wrote a book called Being Digital. He was dead on the money for what was going to happen, but he made a comment that what's in the ground moves to the air, and every 15 years it goes in a circle, and that's what's happening right now is that the broadband speeds that we used to see in the ground are now in the air. Well, the difference is it's a lot more robust in the air and it's much more economical, so you can access a lot broader areas and you can do it for a lot less price. So you can imagine cable companies that own a big landline-based network where they're digging up the ground are scrambling right now because they're scared to death because anybody that has a 3G wireless network can come in, and now you don't have to own the cable box anymore. With our platform, it goes on any device. So your smartphone is your cable box, your tablet is your cable box. So if you think of us in a nutshell, what we are is a B2B platform that enables cable operators, retailers, e-tailers, or anybody that wants to get in the business of a digital e-store on any device. Basically, what we allow companies the ability to do is to buy and sell a platform that consists of XM radio, satellite radio, Verizon Fios TV, Facebook to the next level because of all the Web 3.0 advanced features, and a full catalog and store of Amazon and iTunes. So it's all on one platform, and it's turnkey. So the companies we work with are like Toyota, Ford, Audi on the connected cars, the cable operators. And so we don't really need a lot of clients, we just need the right clients. And the market, there's the incumbent provider out there today is a company called Digital River, and that's really who we're taking a lot of market share from now. The Digital River owns about 40% market share in the United States. They have a very small footprint in Europe, but they power companies like Microsoft, Symantec, Best Buy, EA, and all of those companies are switching, and we're really the only solution out there for these guys. And Digital River, all these companies, the common theme is they all started building stores for delivering physical goods ordered online to your doorstep. And so the reason why their platforms are obsolete is that their platforms are, for the most part, 20 years old. And they've been retrofitted to do digital. They weren't built from scratch to do physical and digital. And because of the new technology, you can do things that they can't do. So the background, you guys know my background. And Jeff Bicknell, who's here with us, just joined from a large LBO out of Cambridge, UK, and Jeff's great. He's got a tremendous amount of background and really doing turnarounds coming in. So he was really excited because he saw our company as having the ability to use his talents to bring in a lot of capital, and instead of chopping heads, he was creating jobs, but at the same time using his experience of being able to go out and roll up a lot of companies that were either too early to market with fragmented business plans, or legacy companies in the physical space, but still had value to our business in the long term. So Mike Levina's background, Mike's here, and Mike is our CTO and is one of the smartest guys, if not the smartest guy I've worked with. But he's a really cool guy. And Mike's background is he built the largest cable companies platform in the Netherlands for a company called UPC, and he did the same thing for two of the largest telcos in Russia. So Mike's really valuable. And Mike Hansen has been great. He's our COO, but he's just as much a CMO to our company. And he's been funded by USF, and I was really impressed with what he had done in his past companies here. And so he's really been able to connect us into the Tampa community quickly. And also I wanted to mention Lou Rossi, one of our board members, is here. We have two of our board members. Lou Rossi runs a local Cisco bar in town called Concert, which does like 20 million a year revenues. But Lou's been great. He's really helped us get jump started here. And we also have Chris Deering on our board, who is the former COO of Columbia TriStar and CEO of Sony Worldwide. And so he's out of London, but we have a great team. We have about 76 employees now. We'll end up, we set our public expectations that we'll be at around 250 employees in the next 12 months, but if we can handle the amount of revenues in our pipeline, we could be much, much larger than that very quickly. So that's it. So I appreciate it. And one of the things I wanted to mention, it's the first company that I've actually had to have line items for a pirate ship and costumes. So.